So it's official. Yesterday, Blizzard announced Diablo 4 is getting some mucho grande changes to the overall experience system. Is this going to help with that in-game slog to level 80 to 100? I think so. Plus, we got a new hotfix that went live, some concerns about Nightmare Dungeon updates and the developer's response to that, a brand new Nightmare Dungeon tier list as well, and the developer's response to the idea of adding campaign bosses as pinnacle dungeon bosses, and I think a lot of you might be excited about this news right here. Plus, the developers revealed the 6 most rare unique items that can be discovered in the endgame past level 85, but people aren't exactly happy about how rare these items actually are. Let's just say sometimes rare is too rare, because then you got an uncooked steak. So, well, start with the hotfix, and if you didn't hear, there was a previous hotfix before this hotfix, and it actually caused issues with playing the Barbarian, and it was like a silent, accidental stealth nerf, and it goes on to say this for hotfix 13. They fixed an issue where monsters would infinitely spawn in cellar events, and you may or may not have heard of a recent exploit with cellars, nightmare dungeons, and rotating events. Well, that's been fixed, and you can no longer do it. Next, we got some class changes for the Barbarian. They reverted a performance change that inadvertently reduced the damage of Hammer of the Ancients, and they said that this in the developer note. Earlier today, we pushed out hotfix 12, which includes stability and performance improvements, changes that affect Hammer of Ancients, and these changes were strictly for balancing back-end performance, but unintentionally also affected gameplay, and there were no plans to reduce damage on Hammer of Ancients with this change, and we reverted this change as it was not intended. Now, someone on Twitter complained about them being able to fix bugs, but not the crappy experience in Nightmare Dungeons, and one of the developers actually responded saying this, and I quote, "We mentioned this in the last stream, but Nightmare Dungeons is more than just EXP. We are also incorporating things like teleporting from dungeon to dungeon via sigils, and this isn't something that can be done in a hotfix that one requires a client for. PC and first parties, Xbox/PlayStation." Somebody also replied to this saying, "I appreciate his reply to this, but where is the damage control? 80 plus is an absolute slog. Packaging up things to deliver bigger patches is pointless when the more serious community is suffering, and the casuals will hit it soon enough," to which the developers replied again saying, "There are quite a few tweaks coming beyond the nightmare items, and I also think people forget that seasons will have EXP bonuses via seasonal blessings, so I'm hoping that the slog from 80 to 100 becomes a lot more painless soon." Alright, now let's talk about the Nightmare Dungeon tier list for farming, and the best places agreed to by the community are these dungeons: Blind Burrows, Alderwood, Gulrin Canals, Champion's Demise, Earthen Wound, and Onyx Hold, and with the second best dungeons being Crusader's Cathedral, Cultist Refuge, Abandoned Mineworks, Mallwood, Core Dragon Barracks, Moggen's Works, Sunken Ruins, and Wraithwind Wilds. And honestly, I think they need to make it so all dungeons are worth exploring. But anyways, now let's talk about the most rare items in the game that you get past level 85. They only drop on level 85 plus enemies. You can get them anywhere. You can get a regular unique. There's only 6 in the game, and they're extremely rare, and always drop at least 820 item power. There's a sword called Doombringer, a great sword called the Grandfather, a helmet called the Harlequin, a ring called Ring of the Stainless Skies, another helmet called Andriel's Visage, and a unique amulet as well, and they're all considered the rarest items in the game currently, and nobody really has them. And it's something that they really have gotten people wondering if they'll make that slightly easier, because like I said earlier, being rare is one thing, but only 2 people in the entire world have one of these drops right now. So a lot of people are looking to seasons to fix a lot of this stuff in the game, and the developers are actually going to have another live stream in about early to mid-July, and are going to talk about this more, and about seasons and updates to the game and end-game experience that desperately needs to be fixed. And anyways, that's all I got for you today. If you guys found this helpful, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll get out of your hair. Peace.